Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We're going to begin tonight at the White House, where masks are now mandatory for all staff members and visitors. The new rule comes after 2 aides, including the president's valet and the vice president's press secretary, tested positive for coronavirus. Tonight, the nation's top infectious disease expert, along with the heads of the CDC and FDA, are all in what they call modified quarantine because they were in contact with one of the aides. The administration says the president and vice president do not have coronavirus and that they're being tested daily. And then late today, the president declared that the U.S. has, quote, prevailed on testing, saying any American who wants to get tested can, though he did not explain how. He did say the White House is making $11 billion of funding from the stimulus bill available to the states to increase testing. And as we come on the air tonight, more than 80,000 people have been killed by COVID-19 in the U.S., and more than 1.3 million cases have been confirmed nationwide. Tonight, in some parts of the country, infections are still rising, even as 49 states are loosening restrictions. There's a lot of news to get to tonight, and we have a team of correspondents covering it all. CBS's Paula Reid is going to lead off our coverage tonight. She's at the White House. Paula?
Nora, the White House's decision to have all staffers wear masks is a significant policy change, but it comes as the virus is already spreading through the West Wing, and it does not apply to the man at the top. President Trump insists it's safe for the country to reopen for business, but the chaos inside the White House is hurting his case. A White House memo out today requiring staff to wear masks at all times except at their desks was in effect today in the Rose Garden, but it may be weeks too late.
And everybody has a mask on. We've had just about everybody I've seen today has worn a mask.
2 positive cases in the West Wing have forced 3 of the administration's top health officials to quarantine, senior aides to restrict their movements, and extra scrutiny applied to any staffers dealing with the president and vice president. Mr. Trump minimized the disruption.
It can happen. It's the hidden enemy.
The vice president, who was exposed last week, was back at the White House today and taking no new safety precautions, CBS News has learned. The president was asked if he and Mr. Pence should avoid spending time together.
But I have not seen him since then. But I would say that he and I will be talking about that. Yeah, we can talk on the phone.
Pence's press secretary, Katie Miller, remains in quarantine after testing positive last week. She was not wearing a mask in several White House meetings, possibly exposing West Wing staff, many of whom are still reporting to work.
It is scary to go to work.
The White House memo on masks does not apply to President Trump, who has refused to wear one in public. Mr. Trump claims that he tests negative on a daily basis, but no test is 100% accurate.
People can test negative for a day or two till they have more virus, and then they could test positive. And so they could be infectious in the period that they're testing negative.
Late today, President Trump insisted that the U.S. had prevailed in testing compared to the rest of the world.
Why is this a global competition to you if every day Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China.
Those 3 top health officials in quarantine will all testify before a Senate committee tomorrow, looking at how to reopen the economy safely. The 3 officials, though, they will participate remotely. Nora.
So much has changed. Paula, thank you.